Hello, this is Ian, and joining me today on CFBS Radio is Alain Ghiai, the CEO of GlobeX Data Ltd, a publicly listed company that distributes, designs, and develops Swiss-hosted software and cybersecurity solutions for security, data management, and secure communications. Hello, Alain, and thank you for joining us today.
Hello, Ian. Pleasure to be with you.
And nice to hear from you. Number 1, how do digital criminals work and how do they take advantage of us?
Well, digital criminals, what they do is they use machines to collect information about our daily life, especially from our social media profiles and our social media activities. For example, we know the big one, Facebook and all the other social medias. And also every time when somebody posts an activity, let's say a person goes to a bank, posts an activity, goes to a gym. So you have the location of the individual. These people have our locations and what we do at different times of the day. And because of social media, we're always updating our status. Essentially, artificial intelligence can put together a profile on us and know exactly what we do, where we bank, maybe what kind of bank account we may have, and so forth.
I see. So it's very important to notice what we update on our statuses.
Yes, I would say the biggest prevention one could do would be to reduce the social media footprint and to really think twice before you post anything. Is this really information that is
necessary? Well, that's good to hear. Okay. And good information. Here's number 2. Is the threat of everyday people being hacked overblown? I'm just an average person. Am I really at risk? And how can I protect myself from cyber theft?
Well, the threat is not overblown, and the threat is growing exponentially. This threat is costing the world economy $6 trillion a year, and it's a $300 billion industry. So certainly the people trying to hack you benefit from getting your information. So the threat is there. How you can help yourself and reduce that threat would be with some very basic steps. First, reduce your social media activities and footprint to really essential activities. Use encrypted connection when you go on internet Wi-Fi, and I would say if you can, I would just use your phone internet 4G that you have. Today everybody has very good packages, and there's certainly enough to use on your phone. It may be a little bit slower than Wi-Fi, but it'll be more secure. And also, if you do use an email to communicate, I would recommend using a paid service because paid services are generally more secure. They do advertise the security that they offer, and they are accountable to some extent to you as well because you do pay them a service. I would use a password manager and password generator to create different passwords for different websites you go to, change them frequently. And last but not least, if you want to go an extra step, you can buy an identity theft protection service on a monthly subscription base.
Okay. That's a lot of information, and we hope that it can be a step forward in the right direction. And number 3, what can businesses and other institutions do to strengthen the security infrastructure?
Well, businesses and institutions need to use absolutely paid services and secure services. They have no excuse. Businesses do make money, and their data is their lifeblood. If businesses lose their data, they could go bankrupt or have catastrophic losses. They definitely need to use paid secure email services, a higher level of encryption in the website hosting of their site. And if they are hosting valuable data in their own servers, they need to have the proper IT manager and hire resources for that. This is mostly for bigger companies. But today, a lot of businesses go to the cloud and they can pay on a monthly basis different subscription. Definitely do not use one of the big mass market companies for email. and do not use a free email service. Email accounts for 84% of the fraud out there, so that's a very big thing. And if you do use messaging tools, do not use social media messaging and free services. Every connection, everything that you do to communicate with your client or within your organization needs to be highly encrypted. And those services cost money. Not much, but they are paid services.
Would you tell us some examples on which encrypted messaging services we could use?
Well, I will be biased. Obviously, our company, GlobeX Data, offers a suite of communication tool. We have secure email, secure instant messaging with self-destruct timers, secure file sharing. That's also a big thing. Don't use free services to back up your file and file share. So if you go to globexdatagroup.com, that's our corporate site. You can see some of our services. If you go to digitalsafe.com, that's our file share, email, etc. So that would be one. There are other services that you can buy out there. I would not use WhatsApp. Most people use WhatsApp and free email services, and that's a big problem. There was actually a doctor in Alberta that used Gmail to communicate to 7,000 patients. This was, I think, a month ago, and all 7,000 patients have been compromised because they were using Gmail, essentially.
I see. So that's very important to discuss with the people in small businesses and big business owners too.
Definitely. It's a matter of budgeting. It doesn't cost a lot, but it is a matter of budgeting. And that is critical for businesses. Businesses hold other people's data, and so do government and institutions even more.
And here our final question. What are the reasonable expectations any of us should have of keeping both our bank accounts and personal information secure?
Well, personal information, again, it goes back to where you store your information. You need to store it in maybe some kind of backup that is encrypted. That would be great. There are companies from paid services from Dropbox all the way to our company, Digital Safe. So that's one thing. As far as banking, it really has to do with your bank. You can contact your bank and find out what kind of encryption they use, what kind of preventive measure they use to safeguard your data. And don't assume that banks are all safe. I would definitely recommend to ask them questions and see if they do use the proper measure. They are mandated by regulation to store data in a secure manner. But again, the problem goes right back to the application and the execution of those regulations. Another thing to do as well, which is very easy to check, is when you go to a website, please make sure that it is encrypted and secure. So to check that, you go to the browser where you type the URL address, and then you need to see the letters HTTPS. This means that this website is encrypted, and you definitely have a secure site. If you hover with your mouse on there, there's usually a little lock symbol. You can click on it, and you can see the security certificate. We encourage websites to use 256 encryption. If it's less than that, I would be a bit worried. But some websites and some fake sites that try to scam you to put your data, your credit card, and so forth, if they don't have that HTTPS, don't even go on that site.
Okay. Wow. That's some very important information for us.
Thank you.
And thank you, Alain, for speaking with us today about cybersecurity and sharing your expertise on this topic.
With pleasure, Ian. Thank you for having me.
That was Alain Ghiai, the CEO of GlobeX Data Ltd, a publicly listed company that distributes, designs, and develops Swiss-hosted software and cybersecurity solutions for security data management and secure communications.